Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here, and welcome to another episode of Wizard Watch, the weekly show where we take a look at the good, the bad, and the damn right wizardry from this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, just as I thought it was pretty much impossible to shed any more tears, I was wrong. I was an absolute mess after watching this week's episode of Raw because, of course, there was more Bray Wyatt tributes. And I'll be honest, seeing Becky break down at the end of a Falls Count Anywhere match victory against Zoe Stark, I just lost it. Like when she held that band, that Bray band up in the air, that just got me. Of course, seeing Bray's chair as well with the fireflies in the background once more, again that got me. Seth with the Yowie Wowie tribute, the Fiend side plates on his belt as well. I thought that was such a nice little detail. And how can I forget about the subtle placement of the Bray Wyatt t-shirt in a Judgment Day backstage promo. Perfect tribute. Now, a lot of people have asked me about the songs that are used in that Bray Wyatt video package. So here they are. I've popped them up on the screen so you can go search them, go listen to them, and of course pay your respects to Bray Wyatt. So now we got the emotional stuff out the way, let's take a look at the good, the bad, and the damn right wizardry. Now, just to pay pure respect to Bray Wyatt, as this was pretty much a tribute show, I'm not going to include any bad, and to be honest, I didn't think there was any bad from WWE in this show. I thought it was fantastic, so I'm going to go through all the good, my favourite bits along the way. And I've got to start out with this naming of the Matt Riddle Drew McIntyre team. Muck Riddle. I mean, if we wanted a laugh, we got one. Certainly put a smile on my face. I mean, it's like something out of McDonald's, isn't it? Some sort of item on their list. I thought, hang on a minute, if this is not going to make Drew McIntyre snap, I don't know what it is. And of course, we got the Viking Raiders versus the New Day in a matchup where it was actually Drew McIntyre that cost the New Day the match by launching a chair into Xavier Woods. Of course, before that, you had Ivar launch Kofi Kingston into Muck Riddle, and it just still makes me chuckle saying that name every single time. It certainly feels like we're going to get that Drew McIntyre heel turn. It's just a matter of time. It is brewing. He is livid. He is furious. Like nothing is going his way. He is like a tornado, a volcano about to erupt. Absolutely loved it. We also got treated to Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest, where it was actually JD McDonough that came to the aid of Damian Priest. But Damian Priest wasn't impressed, sort of just pushed him onto the ground. Of course, teasing the friction between the Judgment Day. And of course, it is now been confirmed. Randomly, we're going to get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions, defending their belts at Payback against none other than Damian Priest and Finn Balor. This is going to be brilliant. Of course, you know JD McDonough is going to have some form of involvement, and Finn Balor can't be impressed with the way that Damian Priest reacted to JD McDonough. So definitely more trouble in paradise. Really looking forward to Payback. Maybe that's where we get to see a turn of sorts, an exclusion from the Judgment Day. We will have to wait and see. Gunther also officially announced that there will be a rematch between him and Chad Gable next week for the Intercontinental title. Really looking forward to that match. And we actually got a match on the night between Ludwig Kaiser and Chad Gable. Of course, this ended in disqualification, Imperium beating down Chad Gable. So typical reverse WWE booking. Could the unthinkable happen and Chad Gable beats Gunther next week? Highly unlikely, but the WWE Universe would certainly love to see it. And can we take a moment just to appreciate the pure aesthetics of Ludwig Kaiser? He really does look like the real deal. That bloke is absolutely chiseled. And you think where he's come with his physique, like, it's pretty impressive. I mean, everyone talks about the Walter into Gunther transformation, but let's take a moment to appreciate Kaiser and his A-game aesthetics. We got Tommaso Ciampa beat Big Bronson Reed. I was really shocked by this. Nice to see Ciampa getting booked properly. But at the same time, what does this mean for Bronson Reed? I mean, you're giving him this new nickname, Big Bronson Reed, and then he gets beaten by Ciampa. Haven't got a massive problem with that, because at least it seems, and there's no coincidence, I think, with Vince away from the scene for a little while, that we're seeing Ciampa booked credibly. And of course, there's the DIY teases along the way as well. So I really hope that happens. Of course, Ciampa is on the search for Johnny Gargano. And this is just intriguing for what comes next. I think if they team together, Ciampa and Gargano again, to reform DIY, it'd be a much needed star boost to the tag team division, and I'm all down for it. Now we got another altercation between Rhea Ripley and Raquel. Of course we did, those two throwing haymakers at one another. And just before that, it was really interesting to see that they showcased Tiffany Stratton, of course, in the crowd amongst the WWE Universe, the current NXT Women's Champion. So obviously this is good signs for Tiffany Stratton because they're making the general WWE main roster audience aware of the NXT Women's Champion. And there's definitely going to be big plans coming for her. I do feel like she needs to do a little bit more work on the mic in NXT, and allegedly that was why she wanted to spend more time in there. She was massively behind that anyway on a personal level, but when she gets more brushed on the mic, she is going to be one to watch on the main roster. Honestly, I'm not saying next Charlotte Flair sort of level, that sort of tier, but I wouldn't be surprised if this lady gets a huge push in the future. And to round off the good, we got to talk about that Miz segment, dressed as none other than LA Knight. Yeah, what a segment. The Miz is literally on top of Mount Rushmore when it comes to any promo work within WWE, and he killed this promo. He was downplaying LA Knight. He doesn't believe that he's legit. He just believes that he's just a generic wrestler like the rest of them, a flash in the pan, and he's going to beat him at Payback because, of course, we're going to get the match between the two, which I'm really looking forward to at Payback. Payback is really shaping up to be a pretty decent event. I'm 100% down for it. And talking about matchups that I'm excited to see, of course, we've got to look forward to also Seth freaking Rollins versus Nakamura. We, of course, got a brief promo between the two of them, or Nakamura on the screen again, intimidating Seth Rollins, and then shows up and attacks from behind. Very fitting when you think of the injury that Seth Rollins has got, and his back takes him out from behind. But is Nakamura beating Seth Rollins at Payback? Not in a million years. Now, I thought it would only be fitting to round off the Wizardry moment and dedicate this moment to Becky Lynch and Zoe Stark, because their matchup one-on-one in a Falls Count Anywhere match really delivered. Of course, completely by accident, Zoe Stark actually ended up pushing Trish Stratus off the top of a platform, and man, that looked like it hurt. Of course, this is all hyping up Trish versus Becky in the end of what's been a pretty played out feud, it's safe to say, in their match at Payback. The Payback's going to be there, but Becky certainly deserved the victory here, and when she held up that Bray Wyatt armband, as I said earlier, I was just in pieces. But great to see Becky dedicating her match towards the late Bray Wyatt. But let's not forget how fire that matchup was between the two of them, and that's the reason it gets the Wizardry moment. Overall, it was a very fitting tribute show. I thought it really delivered. What did you think of the show? Again, get down in the comment section and share your thoughts and opinions. And if you're still struggling, and I'm sure you will be for some time to come, with the terms of the loss of Bray Wyatt, you know my DMs are always open. Check out my Twitter, the link's in my bio. Go and check me out over there. Go give me a follow, and I will always get back to you, so fear not, alright? So you're not alone. Us Fireflies stick together for life. Thank you so much for watching the video. As always, it'd be very much appreciated if you could like the video, share the video, and even better, subscribe if you're new. We'll catch you in the next one.